He's calling us sidewalkers in the United States today. Yeah. But more than anything, he stands up for the working people of this nation. When there's nobody else who will stand up on the TV and speak up for us. Yeah, right. The thing that touched my heart more than anything, and I want him to come out on this. Last year in Pennsylvania, I think it was Philadelphia, we had a group of school teachers. You know, they say school teachers have Cadillac benefits. School teachers are being cut, and we make all this money. But we had a group of teachers that were working for free. They did it for a whole first semester. But if it was not for this man, Ed Schultz, on this very radio show that we're on today, a caller called in and told him that they were working for free. And he said, not in the United States. But I tell you, this man that's here today, it may be a small crowd, it may be a big crowd, but the impact of what you say and what he said in this country, those people that worked in that school didn't have to work for free that second semester. I bring out a friend of education, a friend of labor, a friend of working people, and just a great American, Mr. Ed Schultz.
Worse.
Lo and behold, I think it's about 90 miles south of here, down here in Montgomery, the Wisconsin governor's yapping it up tonight for the conservatives.
That's right.
So I thought maybe I better show up here in good old Birmingham and set the record straight, because there's going to be a whole lot of lying going on down there. I mean, if you want to live in a society and live in a country where you really don't have to worry about your next door neighbor, and all you care about is yourself, if you think that's what built America and made this country great, well, then we're not on the same page.
There you go. All right.
Bottom line here is that the AFT did a great job of saying you got to come to Birmingham and get this done and spread the word out. And because one of the things is that liberal talkers are hard to find in the South.
All right. Yes.
Okay? It's like we're afraid to stand up and say something.
Yeah.
All right. It's like we don't have the facts on our side when we do.
That right?
Since when is it bad to get health care to 30 million Americans? Since when is it bad to make sure that public education is resourced?
Yes.
And I'm going to talk a little bit about this today. We are picking and choosing neighborhoods in big cities in America based on income. And we got this thing on the Ed show quite a bit about income inequality. The gap is growing. It's not getting any smaller.
That's right. You're right.
And oh, by the way, we're shipping jobs overseas.
That's right.
And oh, by the way, there's a president that's trying to do something about it, but he's one man with limited powers. He needs some help. For some reason, we have been stymied after all the progress that has been made right here in Alabama, which started back in the 60s. It took guts to do that then, and it's going to take guts to finish the job now. The 60s were very turbulent. The 60s were an era of change. But now we're in an era of change right now. Because all the gains that we have made are being attacked.
Yes. That's right.
All the things that Martin Luther King talked about. All the social change that was pushed forward in the 60s is now being attacked right now. What is happening in North Carolina with voting rights? Is this guy referring to George Wallace, this governor up there? Making it hard on elderly people to vote. Making it hard on people who are socially, economically challenged. Making it hard on the young people. Shutting down the number of days you can vote. Knocking off the free registration for the young people. I mean, is this what America wants? I don't believe that.
No.
You have to be bold enough to stand up and talk about it. And talk about our experiences. And talk about how diversity is our strength. And we can't be afraid of our next door neighbor, quote, getting ahead in America.
All right.
That's what America's supposed to be all about.
Exactly.
Now, Alabama, we got to hear from you.
All right.
Well, how is it that all of the southern states, for some reason, are Republican? What is it about the South that all of a sudden health care is not strong enough to carry people to the polls to vote. That equal opportunity in education just doesn't seem to be the thing that's going to move. And what about the attack on workers?
Yeah.
What we have seen across America when they continually go after right to work legislation in 26 days, to bust up unions, to reduce wages, to take pensions and attack pensions. In the meantime, I understand here in Birmingham, Wells Fargo is going to cut a whole bunch of jobs.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
The last time I checked, on the stock market, the financial sector is doing pretty damn well on Wall Street.
That's right.
But once again, that Ed chart we show on the Ed Show about income inequality, where the top 2% has gone over the last 30 years, and where the middle class has gone over the last 30 years, that gap's getting wider. You been noticing that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, income inequality is going to rip this country apart if we don't do something about it. Walker's going to be down there doing his little shindig tour all over the country. He's stopping to talk to the Republicans tonight in Montgomery, Alabama. He's going to talk about damn near $1 billion in education that they've taken out of public education. And he's going to say, these are the reforms that people want. I've heard this song and dance before. We listen to all the right-wing Tea Partiers out there tell us that we can't raise taxes on the wealthy because they're the job creators out there. So the Democrats went along with it.
Right.
We extended the Bush tax cuts.
Right.
It was a 10-year window where they were going to be into effect. It was going to create all these jobs. Not only did they do that, but they deregulated Wall Street, as you know the story. He reduced the tax burden on the wealthiest Americans and
Yes,
contributed to the income
You're
gap.
right.
Number two, and there's only two things. That's all I could get done. The second thing was he put two extremists, and that's exactly what they are. Two extremists on the Supreme Court,
Yes.
which now switched to a conservative court. Why are we afraid to say that? President Obama wasn't.
You're right.
He called them out in the State of the Union address, talking about Citizens United. He saw this freight train coming. Look at all these legislative bodies across America that have turned Republican, turned hard right-wing conservative on a state level. And what are they doing? They're attacking voting rights.
That's right.
They're attacking women's rights.
Yeah.
They're attacking public education.
Yeah.
And they are denying Obamacare.
Yeah.
When I talk about the 1 year, the 5 year, the 10 year, the 20-year plan, here's a perfect example of what the conservatives have tried to do because they want to privatize everything they can get their hands on. They want you to own your retirement. They want you to own your education. We don't want any responsibilities. We can't have any social programs. They're trying to get rid of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. They don't want to expand anything for people. Okay? The post office is a perfect example of how the conservative movement in this country has decided that we're going to tear down the voting block, we're going to slowly tear down the social networking, and we're going to attack employees, and we're going to privatize. We're going to starve cities to get what they want. That's Russia.
Yep.
That's the old Soviet Union.
You're right. You're right.
Okay? But wait a minute. They're putting the sell job on us that it's Obama who's the socialist, and the communist, and the Marxist. What is it about people in the South that vote against their own best interests?
Separate but equal. Separate.
What is going to be the tipping point to turn this around? There is an entire array of issues out there that have to be addressed and have to be attacked.
Yes.
But it all comes down to this. All politics is local.
Yes.
And they know that. And that's why Republicans and that's why conservatives are going after the voting block.
You're right.
They got to try to beat you on the local level.
Yep.
And you know what they're going to do? They're going to do everything they can to keep you
Steal it.
from the polls.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do.
You're right.
This is a setup to steal elections, to
Birmingham.
disenfranchise people,
Yeah.
to make sure that your voices aren't heard.
Birmingham.
For those of you here in Alabama, what is it? Come to the microphone. Tell me, why is it that you think people
bus drivers driving for nothing, having to put water on the buses so the kids won't die in the heat. And guess what? They don't give a whoop. It's mean, it's evil, it's something that all of us as Christians have got to stand up and fight.
Why is this happening?
Why is it happening? Because people are afraid. And they are believing the millions of dollars being spent on these radio ads, these TV ads that we can't compete with.
So the country's being misled by a lie on what the conservatives are all about.
That is exactly
Do you
right.
believe this?
Yeah.
You say you've been in education for a number of years.
Yes.
What's different? What's different today than 10 years ago? What's different from 20 years ago? Generationally, what are we seeing in the shift? In the South. In the South.
We are seeing in the South now people who used to rally around our schools still do, but they're afraid to take a stand because they are so ridiculed and outcast
Exactly.
in these communities,
Yeah.
especially the white community.
Right.
Is where they're outcast. You know, I want to
Yeah.
invite Rush Limbaugh to spend a day with me, and I want him to work in that lunchroom. I want him and some of the rest of these people in Montgomery, and we've invited them to do it. But you think they care? No. And they don't care about children. They can care less about children. It's all about corporate greed, corporate money, and all the rest of the people feel like they're just stepchildren. They don't have the power. They lost
So-
sight. They lost their vision. And we have got to stick together.
Have we lost a little bit of our soul?
Yes.
Have we lost what America was intended to be?
Yes.
It's been
Remember
taken.
the planters when we had slaves. The slave owners back then are the slave owners now who run
Right.
our state.
Right.
Timberland, while our schools are starved because we have no tax base to support them. The same slave owners
Right.
that were in control are even worse now because they have a whole lot of money and they have computers, TVs, and radios to spill their victims.